Thanks for tuning in to our very first podcast. Let's just go ahead and take some time to introduce ourselves.
I'm Carmen.
And I'm Amita, and we're both sisters. We're from San Antonio, Texas. And we'd like to talk really quickly just about San Antonio.
Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about in the podcast.
Okay, and then we'll tell you a little bit about San Antonio. So basically what we're going to be talking about today are the famous San Antonio train tracks. And basically what that is...
We'll go into that.
Okay.
But I just want to tell y'all that that's what we're going to be talking about. The train tracks, the haunted train tracks here in San Antonio. They're pretty famous. But first we just want to talk about a little bit about our city, San Antonio.
So San Antonio is the 7th largest city in... Well, I don't know if it's the 7th. Maybe it's the 8th now. I think it's the 8th largest city. Whatever. It's the 8th largest city in the United States. And the 2nd largest in Texas,
Yeah,
maybe 3rd. Okay, I'm not really good at statistics, guys. Should have never tried. But yeah, we're from San Antonio, and it's a really cool city. It's a big town with a small feel.
Yes, it's a big town with a small town feel, which is like what everyone says because it's like everyone just knows
really down
each
low.
other. It's really low key.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not
Everyone
down low.
knows each other. There's so many things going on. San Antonio itself has so much like culture. Like we're not just like an urban city, like whatever. Like we have urban and rural. Like we have everything here. And because we're like in Texas, close to Mexico, we have like Tex-Mex is like our culture here in San Antonio.
We also have access to Mexico as it is. It's only like 3 hours or 4 hours from San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's easier to get to Mexico than it is to get to New Mexico or Oklahoma or
Texas, Texas
Louisiana.
is the biggest state, so.
All right, but on with talking about the train tracks, Carmen. So let's go ahead and give them a little bit of understanding of what exactly these train tracks are for those that have never been to San Antonio or haven't heard about them before.
Yeah, so the train tracks here they're very famous. Everyone heard about them growing up. There's always these like stories about what happens when you go there and what happens when you go.
So basically, okay, let's get started with
What happens when you go there? Just real quick, so I can tell them. Just giving you a little heads up. What happens when you go there is basically you park your car there.
Well, wait, but tell them the story.
No, but I'm gonna tell them and then tell them why that happens. Okay, well let's just.
Well, it would be better to tell them the story first.
Okay, let's just tell them the story.
So let's go ahead and talk about the legend of the haunted railroad tracks here in San Antonio. So I'm getting this actually off a website that's called theghostcitytours.com. Carmen, my sister, will go ahead and tell you a little bit more about that, but I'll go ahead and just give you the
I'm just
gonna give them the real quick. Okay, so one telling of the legend takes place during the 1930s or 1940s, depending on the account. And according to this variation, a bus carrying students home from school was heading toward the intersection Villamane and Shane, apparently is what it was called. When it came to the railroad tracks, the bus stalled out, so it completely just stopped. The bus driver then noticed a train barreling down on them, and the driver rushed to get the children off the bus. But there wasn't enough time, and the train crashed into the bus, killing 10 of the students and the bus driver as well.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the story, giving you a little bit more background because she kind of went straight into it. So this is from the website legendsofamerica.com. You should totally check it out. We're not sponsored or anything, but if you want to sponsor us, we're totally down. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the story. Okay. So according to the legend, it was a rainy Texas morning as the train moved swiftly down the tracks when the engineer spied a school bus stalled along his path. Frantically pulling his brake and tugging on the train whistle, the hulking engine quickly advanced toward the school bus, unable to stop in time. 10 children reportedly lost their lives that day and continued to haunt the area, protecting others from a similar fate. So as the story goes, if you park your car directly over the tracks and shift it into neutral, the ghost of the children will push it uphill out of the way of any oncoming train, even if there isn't a train. And if you have the peroxide to cover your bumper with baby powder or flour, which is what a lot of people do. They put like flour and stuff in the back windshield. You can reportedly
Really, the bumper.
Yeah. Oh. You can reportedly see like handprints and fingerprints on your car. So this story has been featured on popular television shows of sightings, unsolved mysteries. It's been on tons of magazines, newspapers. It's very debated about what actually happened. But this is just something that we've always heard of as kids. Like if you go, a lot of people go on Halloween. There'll be tons of people there. You put your car in neutral and it'll start going. And what's crazy is that it's going uphill. And so it's just weird.
Alrighty, and then let me just go ahead and give you the more detailed version of that. There's several versions. You know, people like to change it, and since it's oral history, it just changes with time. So the more detailed version, which explains the legend more suitably, begins much in the same way. Decades ago, in the late 30s, early 40s, on an especially dark evening. That's especially dark evening. This is what I'm reading off the Ghost Tour, City Tours. They're very descriptive. So on an especially dark evening, a nun was driving a school bus with children, filled with children home after a field trip. They were heading down Shane Road, but when approaching the railroad crossing, the bus abruptly stalled out on top of the tracks. Most of the students were sleeping, so she quietly attempted to start the engine back up. It was then that a train emerged seemingly out of nowhere, and its headlamp was burnt out. It offered no warning or of its impending arrival. It was too late to evacuate the children as the train was moving too fast. The nun desperately and frantically turned the key, making one last attempt to restart the bus just as the train smashed through the bus, cutting it in half. The nun was thrown through the windshield, but miraculously survived. The young children were not as fortunate. They were killed instantly. And right here, what my sister is showing me is actually a picture of the supposed nun, I guess. Supposed someone. It doesn't look like a child. It looks like an older person, but they said that she didn't die. So
No, it just looks like someone there at the railroad tracks. It's a picture right next to the crossing, and it's like a silhouette of someone. I would be scared to take pictures there at night.
yeah, I wouldn't want to see what shows up on the picture you take. But yes, so I had never heard about the nun. I just knew that there was children. Basically, what I...
Team, right?
A baseball team of children? Okay, I had never heard of that.
Really?
I just heard that it was just children. And that I know this for sure, that when you go over a bus, and I know this because I've been in a school bus before, as going to middle school and high school, not middle school, middle school and high school. Usually when you go over tracks, the bus stops, opens the sliding door, and then closes it and then continues. I don't know why. I'm guessing.
I remember someone
I really
asked
don't
the bus
know.
driver last year, and I don't remember what he said. But it's like protocol, but I don't know why.
So this is just what I thought. I thought that they try to open the door, and then when restarting the bus or something, it wouldn't turn on, and they were there. So, anyways, that's what I thought. But these are, now you've heard 3 different accounts. Basically the same, except for one being more in detail.
So we actually went one time. I don't really remember. What did you remember? I was very young.
I really don't remember either that to be honest, that much. I just remember that the car moved. Actually, I'm getting these memories. They're coming to me.
It's all coming back.
Yeah. No, but I remember that my dad had this really old vehicle that he bought like $200. And then, anyways, doesn't matter how much you bought the car for. But that's interesting though. You can buy a car for $200. Yeah, a $200, but it broke down anyways all the time. So point is we were.
In the 50s, so $200.
No, this is not in the 50s. We are only I'm in my 20s. You're not even in your 20s yet, so anyways, back to the point of giving this recount. My put their hands on the car. Well, that's what we were hoping, to be able to see those fingerprints and those little handprints of children on the car to see that they were trying to help us not get hit by whatever was going to be in those tracks. I mean, there's not even, I don't think that anything passes through there anymore. Are those tracks even there anymore? To be honest, no, for real, because I've seen videos where they put, well, I'll talk about the water in a little bit, but I don't think
I think the tracks are still there.
Okay, well, anyways, that answers that question. So basically they tell you to put your car in neutral, because in neutral it'll either go forwards and backwards. So in this case, by logic, the gravity's logic, you're going to be going backwards. But you put your car in neutral, and it actually goes up, which is defying gravity. so that's why people believe in that.
What's happening here is San Antonio doesn't really care about physics, and that's what we've learned. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but basically, that is what happened. We put it in neutral, and the car went over the tracks.
Cars, I mean, like how much do they weigh? Like, you know, like
yeah,
like,
for gravity to be defying.
Well, actually, it doesn't really matter how much they weigh, because like nothing defies gravity.
Okay.
But like, just think about how hard it would be to push a car uphill. You know, like it's not just a fluke. You know.
Well, so we'll talk about that in a little bit, but because this is a history, and actually, if you go and look at it, there was that school bus was actually hit by a train. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
This is not fake.
Are you?
No, it's a real story.
Sure?
Yeah,
because
but
I remember seeing earlier, maybe like a year ago or 2 years ago on the news, that like someone actually went and investigated, because like this is like a story told by mouth. Okay, like, or I don't know what it's. Wait, let me just. A story. What is it called? Like story just told.
Oral tradition.
Like, it's like. This isn't on paper. This is just, spread.
Well, apparently, but here it's on paper.
Let me get to that. And so this person investigated. They're like, well, you know what? Let me see if this actually happened. Like, let me try to get back to the history. And so they went. They looked at all the archives and like all the newspapers, and there was no. What is the word? There's no record. There was no record of this ever happening. Like, they said that if something.
Well, I was about to say, why don't we go investigate into the records? There might actually be, because why are they going to make a story up?
Because.
Well, I might have an answer for that too, actually.
No, but they said that because something that would have happened like this, it would have been huge. Like, a bunch of little kids killed,
But then again, this is in the 30s and 40s. Technology was not that advanced to get the word around.
Exactly, so they would have put it on the newspaper.
That's
what I'm saying. That something that happened like big like this, like something so traumatic like that, it definitely would have been posted, like it would have been on the newspaper, like for this to happen and it not to be on the newspaper is like, well, that's kind of weird. Like it had to have been on the newspaper. And so when people went back and looked, it wasn't on any records or anything, like there was no proof of it. But right now we're looking at a newspaper that says
bus train death toll likely to go as high as 30.
Oh my god.
Daladier calls Parliament for a showdown on plan.
And can you zoom in on what it actually says? Little hope held for several of those injured.
Oh, it actually does.
A freight
Salt
train.
Lake City. Oh, wait a second here.
Oh, that is probably.
That's probably why there's a record, because this is for Salt Lake City.
Check if it says San Antonio anywhere, like Express News, like what does it say? Zoom out.
I don't know how to zoom out.
This is what happens when you have it back.
Okay, there. Oh, I
zoomed out too
much.
See, but it says San Antonio. I think somebody.
Where does it say San Antonio?
Look, it says right there, source San Antonio Express. But go up.
Maybe this is
go up.
a little fishy.
It says San Antonio Express. That's weird.
Maybe the Salt Lake City. Oh, but we didn't read the rest of it. That's the persons that wrote it from.
Okay, so we're looking at the article right now. It says a freight train speeding a mile a minute in a.
This is something else. The bus driver.
Snowstorm.
A freight train speeding a mile a minute in a snowstorm crashed into a school bus at a little used.
It's really hard to read.
Yeah, what does that say?
Wait, but a snowstorm in San Antonio?
So no, this is another. You know how they put other.
Okay, we'll read the other side.
Yeah, let's read the San Antonio side.
Well, it's just kind of weird.
Oh no,
It
I
says
know
more
what's.
than
I know.
four
I
children.
know what's happening here. I know what's happening.
What?
All of the newspapers. I mean, we see like during the, and I have a newspaper to show you, but they have like news from all around the world. I mean, not all around the world, all around like different cities in the United States. So it's not just that. Like this was the cover: bus train death. Death toll likely to go as high as 30. So this is I don't know. Where I was going was that it could be the headliner of the newspaper, but the newspaper has sources from. I mean, has like different stories from everywhere. It's not just San Antonio news. There's like ads and stuff.
Well,
You know what we can
Well,
what
I
we can do
had-
is we can go look for
that's
this.
what I was gonna say. We need to go look for where do you
Find
look
it.
for that?
The
'Cause
public library.
I've seen on TV shows and stuff when they go look for like archives and like newspapers, they'll go to like the local library. Like if we were to actually go to the library, then
We ain't
or,
gonna
like,
find
can you
anything.
can you show us like we have the library? Can you show us the San Antonio archives, like the newspapers from like many years ago? Actually,
Well, they
that'd be
actually,
really
I've seen them before.
cool. Really?
They're
Well,
sitting
that's
there.
cool.
They're
What's-
sitting there.
They're just sitting there.
Yeah.
But what do you mean, like the present ones?
No. They have like what's it called? It's the whole
Can
the
anyone?
whole shebang,
It's,
basically.
it's open to the public, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
I
They
understand
have
it.
like lines of like the whole what is this called? Bookshelf. And they're just sitting there like by the years
Okay.
and
We
things.
are gonna go check that out. When do you wanna go?
Well, whenever we have time.
Right now, we'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding. We
So-
pause and we come back. We're like, okay, so there's no proof.
Well-
we actually have to find out what day this happened. I mean, what was the date of
Well, you know what? We'll get back to you on a different podcast about that because obviously we can't go
Yeah.
at this very moment. But that is a good thing because now that we're
'Cause I'm
reading
just, like,
here,
I'm
it says Salt Lake City.
I don't understand this article when they said that there was no article, so this is like contradicting. Like I'm
But
sure
it's-
that it's easy to make though. Like you can easily fake an article, so I don't know. And this is not a necessarily reputable source, ghostcitytours.com, but I mean.
Well, because they want you to buy the Ghost City
Yeah.
tickets. I mean, we like to go on ghost tours,
They want you to
so they want to make it believable. But anyways, the point is that we'll go ahead and look into that. What I did want to mention though was that on different TV shows, people have already gone and did the test. People throw water on the floor, and the water goes up the train tracks and goes down the other side. So it could also be that area just defies gravity just because.
It's basically that area is actually a portal into the.
It could be.
So they
We'll
actually-
go ahead and look into
they
that as well.
actually have an explanation for that, like why it is that it goes uphill, like why it's defying gravity. Like it's not actually defying gravity. Like there's a reason for that. I just
Some
don't
kind of
remember.
physics.
I don't remember. I remember them explaining it, and it was years ago, so I don't really remember. But that is the case though. Like even water will go uphill. Like that's where the cars like go uphill.
Mhm. So that's interesting.
So it's just weird. It's just weird to think like did this actually happen? Like even let's say that like maybe people like made up the story where you will be like pushed, but like did little kids actually die
Pushed.
there? Is that area haunted?
That'd be interesting. Stand
Yeah.
there and see if you feel anything. Like
get
you,
pushed.
yeah, that okay. That, but I wouldn't really want to do that though. It's
So
a little
what
scary.
we're gonna do? This is what we were talking about earlier. Is we're going to actually spend the night at the train tracks. We're gonna camp out.
Carmen,
No,
we
just
never
kidding.
spoke about this.
I'm just kidding. No, but it's crazy because people actually do these kind of things. Like, you know the suicide forest in Japan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people,
That would be so cool to be able to go there. Not to the
they did
for-
that.
Who?
There's these YouTubers, I forgot their names, I just know one of them.
So they bought a ticket to Japan just to go to the
well, they
suicide
probably
forest.
have money. Oh, I forgot.
That'd be cool. I'd like to go and just do like
You
what's
just
it
go
called?
to
Record from the
places.
outside a video.
Oh, no. They spent the night at Suicide Forest.
Well, it's because after that movie that I watched,
I didn't watch
about
it.
the okay, that's
I was
like
like,
that's a
nah.
trippy movie because it was like a sister. One of the sisters went into the suicide forest, I guess, to do documentary or something. I can't remember.
And the
It's been
other
like
one?
2 years ago.
Follow?
Because she didn't hear back from her anymore, and then her husband didn't hear back from her
How did
either.
that end?
What's it called? They found the sister that went in there the first
She
time.
killed herself, right?
the first sister, the one that went in there by herself, in the end she was found. But the second sister that went in to go save her died. I don't remember how.
I think that she killed herself.
No. The sister killed her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The sister killed her.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is that Suicide Forest messes with your head. And there's been, maybe we could do a podcast once we actually get all this information, because right now we're just kind of throwing ideas out there. Not ideas, but things we've heard. But yeah.
There's actually these YouTubers that, like, who's ever watching this, y'all have probably seen this YouTube video because it went pretty big. But, like, they spent the entire night at Suicide Forest, and they documented it all. And it's just, like, it's like an hour-long video. And I, like, watched it all, and it's all just so suspenseful, and it's, like, intense. And I'm like, how did y'all,
Did they go actually in there?
Yes, they went.
Were they able to get out?
Deep. Yeah.
Oh, God. How did they get out?
They left, I think they left, like, markers or something. I don't really remember. But there's, like,
Didn't
certain
that woman
indications.
do markers also, though?
I don't know.
I watched, like, a
didn't watch it.
documentary on it, and they were talking about how, they find a lot of the bodies, like people who, because it's a suicide forest, a lot of people who are depressed go in there to commit suicide. They don't usually go in there just to, let's see what's going to go on in Suicide Forest, you know?
Except for these YouTubers.
Yeah, except for the YouTubers and people like us who like to talk about it, but,
there's a lot of indicators in the forest, though, that, like, will say, like,
and those indicators,
there's a body over here, and they'll be, like,
those indicators were, the documentary that I watched, those indicators were left by the people who take care of the forest in a way. Those people that live nearby, those that go and collect the bodies of people that have killed themselves and like lay them to rest. So they go in there, but they know where to go. And I'm guessing like things that happen, like I guess it's the reason it's so mysterious is because people go and kill themselves, and that's
it's just so eerie. Like if you see it, it's like
just
a maze,
the thought of that.
And it's like pitch black.
It's just trees.
And there's like and just the fact that you know that so many people have died there, and that they're probably like their restless souls or whatever are there. Like I don't know, like it's just so I don't know how they were able to do that. Like even if you're with your friends like overnight, like I don't understand how they could do that.
Well, maybe one day we'll find ourselves there and you'll kill me or something.
Maybe not Suicide Forest, but I think it would be cool to go to like different places to investigate. I don't know if I'd ever do Suicide Forest though.
We could record from the outside or during the day go like on the trail that they indicate to go into, but not like because the people that get lost in there are those that wander off the trail on purpose. They're like, oh, we'll go shoot a video. No, they have a trail, but you have to go with the. That's what I saw in the documentary. You have to go with the tour guide.
There's a tour guide.
Yeah, to show you.
What does they tell you?
But no, but it's. I guess I don't really know, but I don't remember anymore because they're kind of like do the emphasis on the people that wander off. But there's a tour guide that goes at specific hours of the day.
I guess people hike through there, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's a hike. That's what it is.
I mean, I guess if someone went and they thought it was just a forest and they had no like prior knowledge that it's a suicide forest and they went just for fun to hike and then they go and they're like they would be so shocked.
You know what that reminds me of when you said that because my mom and my brother and my sister when I was working they went to Tennessee. And that my brother randomly went into like a place that was very dangerous, but they didn't know it was dangerous.
Where?
We just went in there and danced a little. I can't remember. You guys went through somewhere. I don't know if it was Dallas or something. That he went into a park. He ran into a park, and you guys didn't know that it was really
in Dallas.
dangerous.
So I had never really been to Dallas or whatever, and I didn't know that Dallas is really dangerous until I was like hearing from this other person that lives in Dallas. Apparently, downtown Dallas is like extremely dangerous. Like nobody even goes there. Like it's always empty because like no one will go there, and it's just really sketchy. And so we were on our way to Memphis, and we stopped through Dallas, and we were debating whether we were going to spend the night at Dallas or not. And so we stopped on the side of the road, like in downtown Dallas, just on the street, and we were going to go ask at this hotel. And so we just stopped, and we were right next to like it was like kind of like a park area where there was just like a bunch of trees. And my brother just like runs off because he's just like I don't know, like. He just, anytime we stop anywhere, he's like, oh, let me go explore. And so
let me go for a run.
Yeah, and it was night also, and we just, he just, like, gets out of the car and just goes, like, running. That sounds like crazy, but...
That's our brother.
He just runs out the court. He's not even a little kid.
Yeah, he's like, what, 17 or
He's
something?
17. But anyway, so
he looks like a grown man.
He just went to go explore. And I remember I was getting worried, but I was like, no, like it's fine. Like it didn't look like a bad area. Like, and I had no
Prior knowledge.
yeah, of like how Dallas is. Like I didn't know it was dangerous, and so I'm like, oh whatever. And then I started getting worried because it was like a while when we like had to go, and so I'm like, I had to go get him. So anyway, like nothing happened.
Sends your little sister who was so tiny.
Nothing happened, but it was just like afterwards when I heard how dangerous that was, like downtown Dallas, I was like, oh my god, like he just like went by himself into a dark like tree
Forest
area. Like yeah, like it was just weird. But Dallas, no, I don't know what I was gonna say, but yeah.
Oh yeah, well, it just reminded me of people like that go. They're like, okay, we'll go in here. Okay, now we're gonna go off
like
the
they
track.
Don't know?
Don't know anything.
Like he didn't know it was so dangerous. Like,
and he just kind of went in there. So that's what we're talking about. Like the people that go to Suicide Forest and are never found.
and they
didn't know. Yeah, they don't know, and they don't.
People that also like, for example, the Manger Hotel here in San Antonio. Manger Hotel is very haunted. It's been on a lot of TV shows.
We've actually gone in there.
Yeah, we walked in there.
It smells like old people.
It's so old. Okay, so Teddy Roosevelt actually, like, I'm sure y'all have heard of this, but what?
What about Teddy Roosevelt? I haven't heard about this.
I told you this. I learned
Really?
this in AP US history. Shout out Mr. Evans. That Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, so basically Teddy Roosevelt had his. Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt had his like you know, the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
What were they like? His like his.
They were like. Weren't they the men that were like fighting against Mexico or something?
I don't remember necessarily what
Texas.
they were. Yeah, but they were called the Rough Riders, and he would recruit them. And so Teddy Roosevelt used to actually go to the Manger Hotel here in San Antonio, and he would recruit people.
At the Manger Hotel?
Yeah, at the Manger Hotel, like Rough Riders. And that's just crazy to think, like, Teddy Roosevelt was, like, here in Manger Hotel, San Antonio.
Maybe he roams Manger.
Why, though? I'm just kidding. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Like, the Manger Hotel is extremely old, and it has, like, a lot of stories. There's been, like, a lot of TV shows. There's, like, one specific room that's very haunted. There's, like, something that always stuck with me is how, like, there's this mirror in the lobby. What?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, let's just save this for another podcast.
Yeah, we could talk
Going
about
into
the
that
Manger.
rabbit hole.
I'm gonna leave you with that cliffhanger about the mirror. But that's a little teaser. Like,
there's a lot of stories, but I feel like
there's a lot of stories.
how we went from like the ghost tracks to Suicide Forest in Japan.
Rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, it's a rabbit hole. That's what it was. I didn't know what a rabbit hole was.
But San Antonio, every time we go to a different topic, you're just like, no, but
sorry guys.
No, but also the Alamo here in San Antonio, like, come on, like the Alamo, like that's very haunted. Like
people died
hundreds of people died there. Yeah, Alamo has also been in a lot of TV shows. I personally haven't seen anything at the Alamo.
Neither have I.
But at the Manger Hotel, there's like a lot of like activity and stuff. I'd be down to stay a night there to do like a YouTube video. Who knows? Maybe that's in the works. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, maybe it's not.
What else?
We can send though Carmen out there.
Yeah, something also that we might talk about in the future is the Black Swan Inn Hotel, which has also been on TV shows.
San Antonio's
very haunted, more haunted than the Manger Hotel.
San Antonio is so huge that there's so much hauntings.
No, like San Antonio is so haunted. Like even like
it's really old.
Than other big cities. Like it's a really old city. There's like a lot of history.
The Spanish Revolution.
There's a lot of history. Yeah. It's been on TV for a lot of things.
Even though you think it's low key, it's not really that low key once you come here or hear about it. You're like, how is that low key?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
How is that low key? What does that mean?
Like, what? How is that not, like, how does not everybody know about it? That's what I meant.
How is that, I see what you mean. How is that, like, how does that
not low key? Oh, wait, how is that
not popular? Like,
yeah, that's what I meant.
How does not everyone
know about that? Yeah.
Because you hear about, like, I've heard about, okay,
like
so,
Connecticut,
yes,
like the whole, what is it called, those movies? There should be a movie about the Manger Hotel.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
That's real. That was real.
Yeah, I know the story about that.
I've never watched that movie, though, because I feel like it's too gruesome.
Yeah. Also, Jeffrey Dahmer, side note, he actually lived in San Antonio for a little bit.
Who's Jeffrey Dahmer?
You never know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, and I always tell you.
I know D.B. Cooper.
Okay, D.B. Cooper's not a serial killer.
Oh, that guy's a serial killer?
Yeah, we can actually do another thing about D.B. Cooper, because I know everything about D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, we watched it when we went to Disney World.
I know.
We love Disney World, but we went to Disney World and we watched at night for like
We
how
literally
long
left
that
Magic
was.
Kingdom early so
Just
we
to
could
watch
go
D.B.
the
Cooper.
D.B. Cooper
Documentary.
which was kind of
It was really interesting.
because they last year they
but they didn't tell us what happened.
Last year they finally closed the D.B. Cooper case. Like they closed it, unless the only way that
Unless they
it'll
open it again.
reopen is if they
For
actually
another
get
film.
real evidence.
We might actually go looking for that evidence.
Well,
And
there's
let's look
thousands
for
of
that
people.
thousands of dollars.
No, there's thousands of people that have devoted their life to like looking for.
Oh really?
DB
I'm
Cooper
not. I'm not about devoting my life for
We
that.
just go for one day and then find
Yeah.
a huge piece of evidence.
Yeah,
No,
that little
but-
kid, the little
oh.
kid that went and found those like huge bags.
Yeah,
of
but
money.
but remember that there's talk that might have been planted. If you watch the
Really?
documentary.
By
Did
a
you
little
watch it?
kid. I did watch it. I was
No,
next to
not
you.
by the little kid, by the parents. Remember how
Of the little kid?
how they asked the parents about it? Because here's the thing. So okay, well we can talk about.
Oh, yeah,
DB
we
later,
were
but let me
talking-
just tell you real quick. So DB Cooper. So there's like a story of like they were at a bar or something and like someone had. I mean, I'm not remembering this very good, but
Who's
like
at a bar though?
the parents of the guy that the parents of the little boy that found the money
Oh.
at the water place, like they were outside of town or something. So they were at a bar or something, and like I don't remember who said it to who, but like basically there was like somebody knew that the money was gonna be found before the money was gonna be found. Like they were like I remember like they were at a bar and like someone leaned over and was like tomorrow money will be found at like this place, or it was something like that, like
At a bar?
yeah.
They give all the instructions
No.
or like all the answers
They
of how
were-
it's gonna be
they did
found.
like announce that like there was two people sitting at a bar and then like he went and he told someone and that's basically and this isn't just like this is like this actually happened and there's like proof, like I don't remember the actual details, but like basically the reason why people think that like that was planned was because somebody like people like there was a person that already knew that the money was gonna be found there, and then also when they interviewed the guy, I don't know if you remember, that they were asking him about it and questioning him, and he started getting like extremely uncomfortable and like upset, and I was like at first I was like, no, like I doubt that he
Had anything to do with it?
yeah. Also like there was a reward for the money, like if you found any like good evidence, and
Did somebody find good evidence?
and that he could have got so much money for the money that he found, but I forgot what it was. There was like a loophole.
You always forget everything. It's like all these good, interesting
I forget it.
things.
No, I'm trying to remember. There was a loophole where they were like, well, anyway, there was a loophole, and they said that they weren't gonna be giving him the money reward for finding evidence because of this, and it was like a really dumb reason, and the guy ended up getting nothing from it, but he could have got like so much money. There's like, but anyway, who knows? Because there's talk that he planted that or something.
Yeah,
anyway,
and he doesn't deserve that money.
we can talk about D.B. Cooper later. But he may be the answer. I mean, if he knows about the money, he knows D.B. Cooper. It's just such a crazy story because it's insane how there's like no trace of him, and it's cool how they actually have like they have his tie and like
D.B. Cooper's tie?
yeah, and there was like they had got like DNA evidence, but the thing was that there was like so much DNA evidence on it, like because some people have touched it over the years and stuff. It's like hard. Like, it happened in like the 70s or something. Anyway, that's another story to go into. But yeah, basically San Antonio has a lot of stories, and train tracks is one of them. It's very well known, but may have not happened. When we will find out. We will do.
We shall find out.
We will do. I mean, because the people that live here in San Antonio, there's some that have lived here forever. You know, when it was Mexico.
Yeah, basically.
like everyone. Like I find it kind of hard to believe that like there's no like witnesses. You know, like there's no like anyone that's like, oh, I remember that. Like, oh, that was like a friend, a family member's friend, or like you know, like you think that somebody would.
Oh, like in that was part of the.
Yeah, they remembered it.
That
or
died
like,
in there.
yeah, or like, oh, like that was my grandma's son, or like, wait, that would be her dad.
Oh, so she would have never been
No, like that was
alive.
my grandma's nephew, or like you know, like you think that there'd be like some kind of ties with people, cause like what year did it take place? You said, like, the
it said
40s?
late 30s, early
Wait a minute, this is 1860. Oh, it says established 1860.
We're finding all these dumb
There was a
things.
school built in 18.
We're like, wow, we have terrible
at the bottom
evidence.
is like fakenews.com. But yeah, that's what happened here in San Antonio. We will have future podcasts about other interesting stuff, and we might even do some field work. And by field work, I mean like investigating, and like maybe one day in the future, if Amina ever gets the guts, we'll stay at the Manger Hotel. We will be starting a YouTube channel soon, and we will.
You know, what we can do is, since we haven't created that YouTube channel yet, and we're going to create a video, we're going to try to, well, I'm saying this right now, I haven't talked to Carmen about this yet, but what we can do is we can but I mean, like, we can have a podcast about, like, this certain thing, and then have a video about it. So
like, in the podcast, we're going to be going more in depth on what was in the video.
Except for this first one where we're gonna go do this. Yeah.
Well, we're actually
we'll do the research, and then we'll come back to you guys on that video and show you guys what we found.
And then we'll come back to that. But on the future videos, we're gonna do like a short YouTube video, not short, but like just like
maybe some 7 minutes, something like that.
And then we'll come into our podcast and we'll go in depth about like what we think.
Sound like you said in depth.
we'll talk about what we think and like just like talk about interesting stuff. With you guys. So yeah, once we make our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe.
So we'll give you that name probably in the next podcast.
Yeah, and to our first 10 subscribers, we're actually going to be giving it. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll see if we get to 10.
No, please subscribe. It's going to be a good YouTube channel. I know that we haven't made it yet, but stay tuned. Like, it's going to be interesting stuff. We're here from San Antonio. If you're from San Antonio, you're going to be getting a lot of San Antonio information. You'll be getting like a lot of cool stories and such.
Plus, if you're from San Antonio and you have more interesting videos and stuff, like ideas, why don't you just go ahead and leave that in our comment box that's not created yet?
Okay, then, you know what? By the time we post it, it might be.
It might be.
Created.
It may not, though.
We will
So,
let you know
if it's there,
in
please
the
leave those
description.
comments. Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully our YouTube channel will start very soon and take off. And yeah, we'll let y'all know. By the next podcast, we will have a good amount of information.
What we can do is we can create an Instagram also.
Oh my God. What's Instagram?
No, but we can put what's it called? When that Instagram, so we can take those videos and stuff. Yeah. Okay, we're going a little too crazy.
No, what I'm saying, like, you know how like emails.
You get like inquiries and stuff. Like, give us all these ideas, like of
only
weird things.
serious inquiries only.
Okay, Carmen.
Anyway. So yeah, we're just gonna conclude here, but make sure we'll have information wherever we post the podcast, which will probably be we will discuss in a bit. But,
Yeah, so we'll give you that information when we have it.
The next
basically.
podcast, next podcast, you will have so much more information
than what you have right now.
about because this is all very vague. But at least we know our podcast is here, and we hope that you tune in for the next one. And this was our first one, so it might have been a little patchy at the beginning. But,
to say the least.
Yeah. But the next one's gonna be better and it's gonna get better. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And
stay tuned for the next one.
Stay tuned for the next one.
All right, signing off. This is Amira.
This is Carmen.
And this has been our first podcast.